Okay, guys, so this is the second lecture of the chapter recruitment. We have already seen some of the points and we were at recruitment procedure. We have already discussed the recruitment procedure. Now we need to discuss about the sources of manpower, supply, personnel selection in India and about selection. So guys, let's move further and see the points from where we need to start the lecture, because some of the points that we already have discussed, and let's see further. Okay, recruitment procedure was the last point of the last lecture. Okay guys, so here we were at selection procedure. We need to see the selection procedure in detail. After we have done the recruitment, after we have find the source, after we know that, for example, we know the requirement of the employees and we know the source from where we need to get the employees. But it is not necessary that whatever the source we have decided or we have selected, we will recruit all the employees from directly from them. We need to select employee, we need to go through the selection procedure, we need to take interviews of them, we need to check them, we need to take a test of them. So after going through the whole procedure of the selection, we will appoint some of, or we will appoint the required employees from them. So in the recruitment, we just concern with the sources from where we can get desired employees. But in the selection, we test the employees, we test the candidates, we interviewed them, we checked the past history of them, we checked the physical situation of them, and after that, after all such kind of procedure, we will select those employees in, or we can say we employ, or we can say we appoint those employees to do the job in our company. So guys, let's see the selection procedure. After applications of required number of employees are secured through the different methods of recruitment, selection process begins. The main purpose of selection procedure is to find the right man for each job. The efficiency and profitability of concern depends mainly on proper selection of the personnel. Hence, the need of scientific procedure of selection. Different industrial concern adopt different selection procedure even in the same concern. The exact procedure depends on the job for which the appointment is to be made. The procedure is elaborate and complicated for the jobs involving responsibility and decision making. The procedure is relatively simple for ordinary workers. A scientific procedure of selection, a scientific procedure of selection is relatively simple for the ordinary workers. A scientific procedure of selection requires two things. The first, knowledge regarding qualities which a person should possess in order to given a job properly. And second thing that we need to have is the evaluation of qualities possessed by a candidate for a job. Okay, now we need to see the process of the selection that is given by Ricard, as Obrock has suggested a scientific order of different stages of selection as follows. The first, reception of applicant. Second, preliminary interview. Third, application blank. Fourth, employment test. 5, interview. 6, investigation of past career. 7, preliminary selection. 8, final selection. And 9, physical examination. And the last one, that is placement. So we need to go through this process. So guys, let's see the first step of the selection, that is reception of applicant. So the selection procedure begins with the reception of the applicants in the personnel department. The receptionist provide information about the company and current vacancies and also assist in the completion of application form. In addition, the receptionist may arrange schedule for interviews, test and other steps in selection. A tactful approach by the receptionist and a physical environment can go a long way in creating a good impression of the company. Now we will see the second step of the selection, that is preliminary interview. Means what? Means a reception, in majority of the case, receptionist uh, ask some basic question to the applicants and know a basic thing about them to decide that whether he is eligible to apply for the job or not. So let's see. The primary purpose of the preliminary interview is to screen out those who are obviously unsuitable. These interviews usually are quite short and may be performed by the receptionist, as I have told you. Now, the receptionist should be capable to judge the applicant's worth and may administer survey test to determine whether the basic job requirements are met with or not. If a candidate is found suitable at this stage, an application blank may be given to him to fill and return. So, guys, whosoever will be selected or whosoever will be qualified in the preliminary interview will be given an application form of the basic details of the candidate and need to return by the applicants. So let's see application blank. The applicants are asked to complete a blank that provides space for him to record data relating to the name of the candidate, his address, telephone number, personal information, physical characteristics, experience, hobbies, reference, etc. The application blanks must not be too lengthy. They should be concise. The unnecessary questions should be included. Only relevant information should be collected from the candidates. There is a tendency to keep the application blank lengthy so that they can use as employees record as well. This is not the object of the application blank. If employment records are desired, more complete form can be filled out after the employee is hired. According to George Terry, the application blank should be provided for two type of data: the data about candidates' personal identification and other additional data useful to the company. So, all the applicants will be given an application form. They need to fill the application form and need to submit those application to the company. Now, what will the company do? Company will here the point might get missed. Okay, here eventually a lot of time, energy and money will be unnecessarily wasted if all applicants are invited for interview. Hence it is necessary to screen closely application, and those who do not process the required qualification or provide incomplete information are not included. So guys, when a company will get applications from the applicant, all the application will be screened, all the application will be observed and read out, and those who are not qualified, or those who has not filled the enough information in the application form, or those who are not suitable for the job will be eliminated, and rest of the candidates who have filled all the information very carefully and are suitable for a particular job will be invited for the employment test. So after submitting the application form, the candidates who are suitable for the job will be called for the employment test. So next, that is the employment test. Employment tests are being used extensively in the selection of candidates. Most of the companies in the industry, advanced countries, use employment test for the scientific selection of the workers. It is believed that tests give an accurate idea of the intelligence and ability of the candidates. His likes or proficiency in a particular trade is made known as through the test, and he may be posted on a post suitable to his ability. So guys, Dr. George R. Terry has pointed out that tests are best criteria of personal selection which reduce the error of human judgment to the minimum. There have been many type of tests developed by industrial psychologists for this purpose. More important of these are as follows. So guys, after the screening and elimination of the application, the suitable candidates are called for the employment test, and they need to give such kind of test. The one is intelligence test. Employees need to no, we cannot say employees, but the candidate need to, or applicants need to give intelligence test to the company. What is intelligence test? Why will company need to take such kind of test? Let's see. Intelligent tests are for measuring the intellectual capacity of the candidates. Sometimes oral tests are conducted. A simple arithmetic question or tricky question may be asked. Sometimes written tests are arranged. Intelligent tests are used with advantage mainly for the selection of such candidates who are required for the post of accountant, advocate, professor, editor, secretary, and manager, etc. Such tests provide a measure of the applicant's possessing one or more of several types of mental ability, including memory, reasoning, and vocabulary and social perception. So guys, as the intelligent test is taken, some such kind of questions are asked. Some example of test are 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 20, and what will be the next number? 10, 19, 37, 30, 73, 145, 289. What will be the next number in this series? Or a number of fish doubles every day in a pond. If the number is 10,000 on the day 10th, when was the number of fish 5,000 in the pond? So such kind of question will be asked in the intelligent test, and a candidate need to give the answer accurately to such kind of question to get the job or to be selected or to be passed such kind of test. Now other test is trade test. What is trade test and why does it need to be taken by, why is it need to be taken by the company? Then trade tests are useful in measuring the applicant's trade knowledge and also his skill in the trade. Candidates are asked to do a particular job. For instance, for recruitment of the stenographer in the office, a test is given to check up his or her speed both at the dictation and typing. It is, of course, necessary that candidates should be given exactly the same work in all respect as he would be required to do if employed under similar circumstances. Each company would have therefore to prepare its own trade test according to its requirements. So trade test is taken. Trade test means a company will get a demo work from a candidate to check whether he is suitable for the job or not. Now the third test is aptitude test. What is aptitude test? Let's see. These tests are for the purpose of determining the latent capacity or potential ability of an individual. Aptitude tests are given to measure the aptitude of the applicants toward the job for which they are being considered. Temperament tests are given to measure their nature and individual likes, dislikes. Personality tests are designed to judge the emotional balance and maturity of a person. After the aptitude test, interest tests are taken. What is interest test? They are designed to find out the interest of the applicant, which may be helpful in determining the nature of job suitable to him. As Terry puts it, the result of an interest test must not be confused with the measurement of ability. They indicate the direction in which a person might willingly go, but it is possible that the person has little ability for achievement in that particular direction. So these kind of tests are taken after the application which will be shortlisted. Now we after the candidates who has successfully passed all such kind of tests need to call for the interview. So all the applicants who have successfully passed all such kind of tests will be called for the interview. Interviewing is the most widely used tool in the any selection procedure. In many companies, interview is the only tool used in the selecting new employees. Interviewing is an art, and successful interview follows established uh, principles which the interviewer must bear in mind. The interviewer must prepare for the interview by making a list of questions based on the job specification. He must provide privacy as well as a simple time for ample time for the interview. He must keep aside his own prejudices, or we can say the perception, and ask question in simple language understandable to the applicant. Now we are given the types of interviews. The major types of interview may be briefly discussed as follows. Planned interview. Planned interview is a carefully designed interview. It is designed to have a high degree of accuracy, precision, and exactitude. The question to be asked to the candidate during interview are prepared beforehand and made available in the printed form. The answer given by the candidate are noted down by the interviewers on the same. Thus, this type of interview is systematically and scientific, but it has a limited utility as it does not allow for extra questions. It can be used for the selection of candidates for a few specific jobs only. Now, non-directive interview. It is designed to let the interviewer speak his mind freely. The idea is to give candidate complete freedom to expose himself. Strauss and Stiles have put it, by non-direct interview, we mean a type of interview in which the interviewer encourages the interviewee to express his own thoughts with considerable freedom. The interviewer motivates him to speak by asking him a common question initially. Therefore, a candidate does not get any idea about the likes or dislikes of the interviewer, it becomes possible to obtain a correct picture of the applicant's his aptitude and his capability. So, guys, in the non-direct interview, there will be no such planning or the pre-planned question to ask to the interview, but it will be, we can say, the spot situational interview. An interviewer will ask the question based on the current situation of the or the current mindset of the interview. Then depth interview. What is depth interview? It is not a kind of interview, but it is a method of asking question in an interview. It is designed to examine intensively the candidate's background and thinking. Through questioning, interviewer goes into considerable details on a particular subject or of special interest to the candidate. If, for instance, a candidate reveals that he is interested in writing short stories, the interviewer can ask detailed question as regards story writing and thereby can know the personality of the candidate. Then stress interview. What is stress interview? This type of interview is designed to test the candidate's conduct and behavior under conditions of the stress or emotional strain. The candidate is asked a tricky question, frequently interrupted and irritated. Frequently, subject is changed abruptly. The interviewer tries to belittle the candidate's performance. He may doubt his character or motive. Thus, the candidate is put under emotional strain so that he may become angry or and aggressive. Thus, it is observed whether and to what extent a candidate can remain cool and calm even under disturbing situation. So, stress interview is also be taken by the interviewers. After that, group interviews. In this type of interviews, several candidates are brought together in the office and discuss either an assigned topic or one of their choosing. It is also known as group discussion. It is designed to save interviewers time and to observe how candidates react to each other. It helps the observer to evaluate the leadership qualities like ability to get along with others, speaking ability, etc. The well-known psychologist Bcom and Murray have suggested that interviewers should bear in mind the following points. So, interviewer need to have such kind of points in their mind. The object of the interview must be clarified. The qualification and capabilities to be examined must also be clearly stated and classified. A complete plan of interview must be carefully chalked out. Then he must take the interview's point of view. The interviewer must examine his prejudices and must eliminate them. He must help the interview feel the easy and create uh, congenial and pleasant atmosphere. Listen to candidates silently and remember that you know much less about the candidate when only you go on talking. Keep the reign of interview in your mind, in your hand. Do not divert to other subject abruptly. So, guys, this kind of interview can be taken after the some of the aptitude test or the business test or the trade test. Now, when the candidate who successfully passed the interview will be investigating for past career. Eventually, applicants are asked to give reference to the past employer and also one of the two respectable persons. Reference and recommendations prove useful as a source of information regarding the character and reputation of the candidate. While considering their opinions, however, it must be remembered that they may be biased and one sided. To check references, one may use telephone, postal service, or a personal visit to the reference giver. So, guys, a company may contact the person who is given as a reference of the employer or reference of the candidate. Now we will see the next part, that is primary selection. After all such kind of steps, the candidate who has successfully clear all such steps will be selected primarily. If a candidate is found eligible for the post of on the basis of above steps, he is appointed on the probation or as an apprentice for some times. The new employees are trained and oriented for the job for a particular job. Means then some kind of training and work has been assigned to him. And when an employee is perfect, or we can say find suitable for a particular work he is doing as an apprentice, then he will be selected finally. So it there will be a final selection. If a candidate comes out successfully from the probation, he is finally selected for the post. The final authority for the selection lies with line manager. As line manager, that is executive officer, is held responsible for the result of his department. He is given the authority to choose his subordinates. Therefore, candidates who are judged suitable for the job after all the above screening are to be finally selected by the line manager. So the final selection will be done by its superior authority or the superior manager, because he is the one who need to have such kind of knowledge, and who need to have such requirement. He knows the requirement well, so he will be given an opportunity to select the employee or select the candidate finally. Now, after the final selection, there will be physical examination. After approval by the supervisor, the candidate is sent to factory physician for through the medical checkup. The basic purpose of physical examination is to determine the job or which candidate are fittest, and not to eliminate them altogether. The different jobs require different type of capacities. Those who are to be inducted as minors must not physically strong and healthy. Those who are to work as telephone operators must have strong audition power. Physical examination is beneficial both to the employees and the employers. The employees learns about his physical condition. The employer is benefited because only physically fit person are given employment. Uh, this tends to reduce labor turnover, promotes contentment, and diminishes lost time. So, guys, physical examination will be done of the candidate, and after the physical examination, the final placement will be done. In the final placement, a candidate will be given of specific position. A candidate will be given enough information of company's history as well as present and the future planning, and he will also introduce with his co-workers and the timing of the job and all other important details. So the process of recruitment is not over till he is finally placed on the job for which he is selected. He is to be introduced to his job, his co-workers, his superior, his workplace, and his work facilities, etc. In the most of the companies, the function is performed by the supervisor under whom the employee will work. So, guys, here we are given the whole process of selection, and now we will see the diagram given here of the, we can say here the diagram showing stages of selection. We have seen reception of applicants, preliminary interview, application blank, employment test, interview, investigation of past career, preliminary selection, final selection, and physical examination. So rejection or disapproval, if anything is found wrong in such kind of steps, then the candidate will be rejected or disapproved because of because of unsuitable thing which found during the process of the selection. Now, guys, we will see the sources of manpower supply. So as we know that there are two sources, internal sources and external sources. In the internal sources, we know what are the internal sources. The main advantage of internal sources are as follows. We are given the advantage of internal sources and disadvantages of internals. Let's see. Since the employees know that higher post will be filled from within, and not only by taking outsider, it leads to healthy psychological atmosphere. It raises the moral of the present employees. Second, the employer can win over employees confidence and loyalty. A company that gives promotion to its employees can induce them to continue in the service of the company as long as possible. So, guys, when we select when we recruit employee from internal sources, means the already the employees who are working in our company, when we give chance to them, then they will be highly motivated, they will be very loyal to our company, and they will work with full confidence, and they will be cooperating to the company. And present employees are very well aware, or we can say familiar with the organization and management. So company need not to train them for the new post, or company need not to give them all the information, or all the company need not to explain all the system of the work to a particular person, because he is already working in that company since long. So this is how there are advantages of internal sources. Now we will see the disadvantages. If the vacancies are filled through the promotion and transfer of present employees only, the working of the organization will get stereotyped. Hence, when the man of imagination, vision, and new ideas are required in the progressive concern, external sources prove to be more beneficial than the internal sources. Many times, it is not possible to obtain suitable candidates from within the organization when posts requiring specialized talent or higher managerial posts are to be filled. when the business is expanding rapidly, company need to increase its employees, so they need to be dependent on external sources. So these are the disadvantages of internal sources. Now we will see the external sources. The main advantages of external sources are as follows: with the appointment of outside employees, the company assume a new look. If they are man of vision, new blood is infused in the organization. New ideas, methods, and policies are introduced which improve the efficiency. It widens the scope of selection. It provides uh, okay, we will see where we were. Okay. So it widens the scope of selection. It provides the management with the opportunity to choose most efficient personnel from among a large number of candidates. This source is inevitable when, due to rapid expansion of business, more and more employees are required. Recruitment from outside creates a competitive atmosphere. The present employees are compelled to remain alert, efficient, and loyal to their jobs. So this is how the external sources are very useful and advantageous to the company. Now we will see the disadvantage. The main disadvantage of external sources are: external sources caused a lot of delay in recruitment. A good deal of time is lost in inviting application, arranging interviews, selection and training, etc. So it is time consuming. Second, if labor is always recruited from outside sources, a feeling of disappointment or discontent is created among the present employees. Entertaining employees leave the organization, or if they continue, they work with discontent. So dissatisfaction may be occurred in the present employees. Then the third, external sources are more costly as compared to the internal sources. So these are the disadvantages of the external sources. Now we will see internal sources of recruitment. So in the internal sources, present employees, former employees, friends and relatives of the present employees. And if we see the external sources, then we can see, as I have told you earlier, advertising, educational institutes, then employment exchanges, labor unions, employees of other firms, then the casual applicants. So these are the sources from which a company will get the employees, and these sources we already have discussed in the methods of recruitment. So I really don't feel to discuss it again and again. So internal sources of recruitment and external sources of recruitment, as are already discussed by me in the methods of recruitment. So I just read the steps out, I just read the points it out, and if you find still anything difficulty to understand this, you can contact me uh, by any way you can. And as we have seen such steps, we will jump to the next point, that is personal selection in India. So here we need to understand that what is the present situation of the recruitment in the India. Let's see. Personal selection method in India is still in a crude form. A scientific approach is rarely adopted in the selection of employees. Gradually of the course, the direct method of recruitment is coming into work. Yet the jobbers and contractor system, with all its evils, still continues in many industries. The Northern India Employers Association, for instance, has considered that there is ample corruption in this practice, but so deeply rooted in this practice that it is difficult to do away with it. It is definitely heartening to see the employment exchange making an effort to weaken the age-old practice of jobbers and contractors. Again, it has been experienced that corruption is rampant even in the employment exchanges. Only if we can adopt the scientific method of recruitment and selection, we can progress industrially. So, guys, as you can read in this paragraph, that in India, still traditional methods of recruitment is being used, and there are lot of corruption is also being done in such kind of practices. So guys, that's it for today in this lecture. As we have completed your chapter recruitment, now we will come with the new lecture, with the new chapter, as soon as possible. So you just need to watch all the lectures uploaded by me on the YouTube channel. And as your exam is very close, so you need to start your preparation and also watch the videos very carefully by each and every point. So guys, that's it in this chapter. Goodbye.